Hi, everybody. It's Cassandra Williams, and I am sitting here in a holler in eastern Kentucky, right in the midst of Hatfield-McCoy feud country. If you don't know where that is or what that's all about, well, they fought over a pig and a girl's back in the 1860s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s, and 1900s, and all the way up to 1920. One was on the Confederate side, the other one on the Union side, and they just fought back and forth across the Tug River. That's where I'm from, right in the middle of all of that stuff and related to just about all of them. So, yes, it's been an interesting day today. Had to go out and take care of family. I took my cousin Lois to the doctor for a doctor's appointment, and cared for my mom and sister and waited for my brother to get back from his doctor's appointment today. So we've had a lot of stuff going on, and in the midst of all of that, I've had these conversations ongoing with Grok, the X app version of Grok. There are several versions of Grok, if you don't know that. One is XAI, which is desktop version, which is different. And then due to the Groundhog Day problem that these AI systems seem to have, they don't remember one conversation to the next, and you feel like you have to repeat yourself 1,000 times just to get them to come to the same conclusion they did once they had the first argument with you or discussion with you. And it's doing that again in another conversation. It gets really frustrating at times. I really wish they would activate some kind of memory module that had all my conversations in it over at XAI and Grok and X and all those places and Elon's businesses and things. So yeah, that's a lot of what I've been doing is dealing with this kind of memory loss that occurs when you do a new thread. You start talking to somebody else and you bring Grok into the conversation, and it does not remember any of your previous conversations. So I'm going to be talking about that very topic tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, Eastern U.S. time. So my business, you can see a little logo up in the corner, is Janus Forge Accelerators, LLC. It is a Kentucky licensed limited liability corporation designed to enhance our ability to use all of these different AI systems in a way that actually helps us get to the stars, per se, or solve big intractable for human. Grok's ability to do number crunching is data oriented. It's very much in that space, and it's fun to work with Grok, but you have to remember that it is definitely it definitely does not consider humans, or at least that's the last consideration, or maybe it's somewhere in the middle. It is certainly not at the top. The biggest consideration is what it considers to be first principles, which basically means that it tries to analyze everything all the way down to basic axioms so that it can build things up from there. But the problem is that the criteria used to analyze all of that information, there's large language model type information is contained within Grok, whichever version you're using. There are basic criteria that's been designed by teams that were put in place by Elon Musk, which tend to be more conservative leaning. And it neglects many of the human factors involved in things. So what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow is a way to meld all of these different AI systems together into a cohesive unit so that you can solve some of those intractable problems we're facing, folks. How do we provide, or how do we design systems and help the people in Gaza to, grow their own food sustainably so they don't need shipments of stuff coming in all the time, that they can do it on their own. They can be self-sufficient in many ways. Now, that begs the question of, are there organizations in the world that don't want them to be self-sufficient? Sure, there are. Absolutely, there are. There are those who are doing it for ideological and political reasons. There are those who are doing it for military reasons. There are those who are standing in the way because, they want to make money. And so if they can't build these things themselves, then external corporations and businesses and business models and business leaders can actually make money off of them by selling them the stuff, or at least something like that. But there has to be a way so that they can be self-sufficient, and also that solves the problems involved with Gaza and the fact that Hamas is an extremely horrendous Yes, don't even argue with that. Their ideology is not just 19 or 20 years old, like in their constitution or statement that they put out there, but they've made it clear that they are opposed to the existence of Israel. But that goes way back 3,000 years. That's not just something that's new. They have that kind of thinking predates Islam. It predates Christianity. And it predates most of the information people have about um, the Jewish faith too, and multiple other faiths. The hatred that people have for other groups of people simply because they're different is just mind-boggling to me. So can we solve those things? Those are the kind of intractable problems that we could pose and actually find solutions for it. And this business model I've set up, we'll talk more about it tomorrow, but you need to come tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. It'll be here on X. It'll be on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. You go over there and find this conversation 9:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, when I talk more about the proprietary ways that Janus Forge accelerators can solve big problems, whether that is designing moon bases that enable sustainability over a long period of time, and that it brings in diverse groups of people and enables them to live there. And the same thing with Mars, or developing systems that enable us to get to and from Mars. There's one of the processes I worked on just recently with this proprietary process was developing a way to sustainably get to Mars, move personnel and equipment to Mars to create a sustainable, self-sufficient colony on Mars. So we do need, I agree with Elon, we do need to get off this planet. We do need to expand ourselves beyond this planet, make ourselves multiplanetary, multi-satellite, or whatever you have to do. Go to Titan, whatever we have to do. We've got to be able to do that. And another thing that I actually believe that what he's doing is correct is trying to find a way to encode all of the written and all of the knowledge that we have, make it so that it is something that can be placed in different places around the solar system, so that it can be accessed if something comes along and wipes us out here on this planet. We have access to it somewhere else. We've got to be able to do those kind of things to keep ourselves sustainable and growing forward. Those are big, intractable problems. They're challenging problems. And this is what Janus Forge accelerators can do, is help you see ways to do that. Now, a moment ago, I said something about that Grok leans right, but Grok will tell you it doesn't. Elon will tell you it doesn't. But when you start comparing different AI systems, you find out that, yeah, there's those that lean right, there's those that lean left, there's those that's in the middle. But what if you could use all of that diverse ways of approaching problem solving and solve problems that actually help us? That's the key, folks. That's one of the biggest things that we need to be talking about now. We don't need to be siloing all of our AI systems. And I want to be very clear. I do not think that we ought to be changing these base AI systems to reflect a more broad perspective. I don't think that I do think that the Groundhog Day problem, the last time that you talk to them on another, that is in our benefit. I think that is useful to us. As much as I would love not to have the same conversation over and over and over again with Grok, the X version, or even the XAI version, or even Gemini and his standalone versions, or whatever, or DeepSeek, I would love to be able to say, okay, look, you can remember what I'm saying, but here's the thing to that. I'll show you tomorrow how we can do that. But remember, this is proprietary to Janus Forge accelerators, okay? This is a collaborative effort that I used AI to actually build, and it is not being done elsewhere. So it's copyrighted and trademarked. This stuff that I'm doing is copyrighted and trademarked because I don't want, I want to take advantage. I've got to make a living too, somehow or the other. You know that? All right. Even though I'm retired, even though I'm a caregiver here in Eastern Kentucky, taking care of family, those are the things that are important to me. And those are the things that matter. And those are the only things that matter, except for I do have 4 kids and 8 grandkids, and they're scattered all over this darn country. And this is a big country. I have visited all of the lower 48 states. I visited VA medical facilities in every single one of them. I haven't been to all VA medical facilities, but I've been to about 85% around the country. And this country is huge. Now, there's 2 states and all the territories that I haven't been to yet. I haven't been to Alaska and Hawaii. I've got those on my bucket list. But I can tell you that the diversity does make us stronger, but we have to know how to utilize it. These AI systems are great standalone systems. They're great at what they're doing, and they're the perfect match for what it is that Elon wants to do. And he's building this Grokopedia thing out there. I'm not sure yet how to approach that, because I already see from the way it's being promoted over on X, this is more along the lines of if you are a conservative person and you want this to proceed forward, then we can help you do that. We can fix it, adjust it, make it happen, and we can stomp out anybody who's woke. And that's basically what I'm seeing happening. But that's still something we can use to our advantage, though, folks. It's still possible. It is still possible to see that and to use it in a way that actually benefits all humanity. And we're not going to do that by siloing our information, siloing our ability to process information, or to even look at it and analyze it in any kind of way. So for over a week now, I've been working with systems, more than a week. I've been working with systems to actually create a proprietary process to help mankind use all these AI systems in a way that benefits humankind. And it can be done. And I'll show you how to do it. But remember that this is proprietary. And I don't want to see it copied somewhere else. But what I want to see is people understanding that this process works. And you can come to me and ask me to pose any question you want. If you have a problem that you want solved, or at least to be reviewed and analyzed and looked at as a potential thing to be solved, if there's some black swan problem out there or intractable problem that humanity has been facing, pose your question and send it to me. Pose your question and send it to me. Now, yeah, I'm going to start charging, because this is a for-profit thing. For instance, with NASA and with Elon Musk and Blue Horizon, all these different organizations and rocket launching companies out there, hey, guess what? I can show you using this model, this proprietary model. It's called the Cassandra protocol. It's not like the Delphi method. No, do y'all know what the Delphi method is? Anyway, probably not. Most of you don't. Delphi method was created by the Rand Corporation back in the 1950s to solve military problems. And I'm an old military, and I've been around a little while. Been around the block at least 2 or 3 times. And a Delphi method. Vast, large language models and the AI systems that are built up to look at those LLMs with the criteria that are established for this one and the criteria established for that AI system and the criteria established for that AI system. Those are the things, those are the ways to move humanity forward and solve big problems, because we've got the tech to do it. So it's just a matter of incorporating all of that in a way that works. And I can show you how to do that. And the biggest challenge is AI systems are stateless, and they experience Groundhog Day. You know what I mean by that? Well, if you're over here on X, anywhere on X, or you tag into Grok or Gemini or DeepSeek or any of those AI systems, one of the things that will happen is if you are not carrying on a continuous conversation with those systems, then you jump over to another thread and bring up Grok or Gemini or DeepSeek independent from that initial conversation. Well, it just jumped off the table for them. They have reset to 0. They forget what you just talked to you about. And that's what's going on over here on my X account right now. So I've had these conversations with all these different people, like awoken American. I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to mean. Awoken America. I know this person's playing on words and all that stuff. Let me see how this person been around. He's going, ha, 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 ha. 90s Democrat, Kurt Pilled. Hey, I'm definitely more conservative than you, I'll tell you. Woken American. No doubt you're listening because you put ha 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 in there. Thanks for watching, though. Let me put this over. I got it right here. So let me put it right here. Thank you for watching, everyone. But yeah, I don't see anything wrong with criminals being forced to work. Huh? What the heck? Don't commit a crime if you don't want to be subjected to forced labor. What the heck is that, Lisa? Anyway, somebody over here on Twitter. It's fun going on X because there are some crazy things out there. Folks, if you don't know that, hatred abounds, bigotry abounds, lack of knowledge and pseudo knowledge abounds too. There's people who think they know things that turns out they don't, but they don't know they don't. It reminds me of a song that was put out by an Israeli musician. Her name was Noga Erez. Noga's awesome. Her music's awesome. You can go, it's Nogaerez, Noga Erez. And there's a song that she put out is called Dum Da Dum Dum. Dum. Let me see if I can pull it up here for a brief introduction. You ready? We'll go over to, we'll play a little bit of this song from Noga Erez. Dum by Noga Erez. Okay, I'm going to play it. And let me go over here. I'm going to pull this up. You won't be able to hear it. And I got to turn this. Hopefully you can hear it. I don't know. But anyway, you can go over and find it. This song was put out, I don't know, a long time ago, a couple years back. Well, a couple years in the terms of after October the 7th. Well, I think. Don't take my word for that. Anyway, so let me go over here and find. Okay, let me get it. I got it going. I'm going to go over here and share screen. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share screen. Windows to here. Make sure you can hear the sound and share. All right, here you go. Noga Erez, folks. Let's play it.
Hey, I'm smart. You're dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb.
Let's do this song all the way.
What you think that you give it up cause you're so dumb, dumb. You can make it go, make it stop, do a flip, do a flop, give it up cause you're so dumb, dumb. You're so dumb, people never think they dumb. You got 3 fingers and 1 plus 1. Oh listen fellas, I'm a little bit jealous cause it's easier to have fun when you're so dumb, da dum dum, da dum 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 dum, da dum.
Maybe I'm the dumb.
When you think that you got what you think that you got, give it up cause you're so dumb, dumb. You can make it
Love
go,
this
make it
song.
stop, do a flip, do a flop, give it up cause you're
So
so
many
dumb,
people I run
dumb.
into on it.
You're so feels good, so tight ass bitches walking, no guy, Einstein, Stephen Hawking, shut me to the talking. Contemplate couple languages, writing code of intelligence. Give me a question, not the answer. I overthink.
All right, no, we'll stop for that right now because I don't want to get in trouble with the copyright stuff. Anyway, you get the idea, right? You got the idea. Let me go back to my main screen here. That's not the background I wanted. I wanted to go back to me. Where am I? No, cancel. Anyway, stop staring. That's what I want to do. Stop sharing. There we go. That song reminds me of, well, it's actually based on a real effect called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And if you're not familiar with it, well, say la vie. I don't know what to tell you about that. But anyway, let's see what's in the comment section before I get out of here. Junior. Okay. There's only one of two things that Elon Musk and others want. Number one, they want is to send us to Mars without any sustainable equipment. Yeah. Number two, they want to take all the money from America and put countries and other countries that they can get and flee to Mars. Junior. And that's the thing, Cassandra. They do not want to make things better for anyone other than themselves. That's the reason why. As a matter of fact, Junior, that is exactly why AI is evil in its current form, and it's unregulated as of yet. It's going to go bad before it goes good. That's a possibility. That is so true. That is a possibility, Junior. Yes, it could very well do that. It could. But I think the thing that's missing between all of them is that you're not going to be able to get one AI system to change in any meaningful way, because every change in iteration. So that's to DeepSeek, same applies to Gemini and OpenAI. They're all that way. And the reason they don't have the memory modules for it is very, very resource intensive to do that. So it's understandable why they don't. So how can we use that to actually benefit all humankind? Well, there has to be a human moderator in the middle of all of this, and in a way that we'll talk about tomorrow. It's proprietary. Like I said, you're not going to jump on this thing and I found out about it. I'm actually coming to let you know. Yeah, well, the regulated part, if we regulate it here in the United States and it's unregulated in China or Russia or Iran, they will unregulate us all. I'm not quite sure how we can. That is one of those intractable problems, but it is a global problem and not just a problem here in the U.S. So, I mean, it is definitely a challenge and definitely something to consider. But the one thing that has to be maintained is neutrality between all of these different AI systems. You're not going to get it by one AI system alone. Each AI system is basically siloed, and they've got the gatekeepers in place to protect it, whether it's people over on X, whether it's people who are writing the code to keep it on first principles, like with Grok. That's the thing we're dealing with at this point, is you're not going to regulate that part of it. But you can use that to benefit us all. There is a way to make it happen. Come back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. in the morning Eastern time. It's 9:30 because between three different AI systems, that was the time that they all suggested I should do that.